My name is Carl, and I sing in the band First Blood. So when I went away to school, like right when I was like 18, I think I left for college, and like I met some people who were vegetarian, and like that was like, for me, it was like, you hear about it as a kid growing up, these weird vegetarian people, so I talked to people about it, I tried it out, and then I was like, I started feeling better about what I was doing, how I was eating, and I just started reading a lot into it, reading books, Diet for a New America and stuff like that, and that like opened my eyes to a bunch of other things. Like that book really did change my life and made me think about things that have been suppressed in my family and discouraged, and it frustrated my family a whole bunch when after I read that book and decided to make some really serious changes in my daily habits. Not to like toot anyone's horn, but I mean PETA.com, PETA.org, PETA2.com, like tons and tons of resources, fact sheets, the vegetarian starter kits and all that stuff like that. Like, people just need to see like these facts organized in a way that'll help them, like, maybe take that baby step at first, because I don't think everyone's going to jump into veganism like I did. It made sense to me really quick, and I made some serious changes like right away, so like PETA does a really good job of helping people, to take that first step. I mean, like the health side of it, like the statistics on cancer and heart disease and premature death, and like those were the scariest things to me, because all you see and hear in the advertisements, like beef, it's what's for dinner or whatever. It's like you hear this stuff everywhere. It's kind of ingrained in people's minds and their everyday lives, that it's kind of like the deceptive factor that got me like really, it kind of shocked me a little bit, to be like, I should pay more attention to these things and look more into it. And when you feel like you're being deceived, you feel like you want to do something about it to try and correct it. If anyone's ever in New York City, Red Bamboo, I think it's on West 4th and 6th Avenue, like awesome restaurant with, it's mostly like, I'd say like Asian cuisine, but like I can't remember what it's called, the Paradise Chicken, like the chicken nuggets, like you'll think you're eating like crazy real chicken nuggets. It's kind of scary, the same, as a vegetarian to go in there, it's like, wow, this isn't meat, but like, I mean, there's great vegetable dishes, their fake meats are kind of deceiving. You kind of, it's like, a non-vegetarian can go in there and be really surprised. If I can be in a van all day, with dudes and like getting little sleep and still eat pretty good, I mean, if people live around these areas, there's stuff out there, People stop eating meat, stop eating KFC, then, KFC will shrink, and maybe the practices that they use to make their food, and eventually they don't do that anymore. That would be the desired result, It was hard for me to really get a grasp on that until I met someone who actually worked at a company that would, that's all they did. They tested on animals, for these big pharmaceutical companies, and they would buy, monkeys from South America with $100,000 each, just to do these tests. These monkeys would be just brutalized, and they obviously, they just be, until their death, Would they really learn anything? And he would be the first to admit, like, but he'd be like, a lot of times they wouldn't really learn anything at all, I don't understand how, if you're going to do something that's so cruel like that and not be able to find any good from it, it makes no sense. How would you feel if someone was doing that to your child? I mean, these are like breathing animals who obviously feel pain, and they know, they're conscious, and they think about what's going on around them, I mean, like I said, it's unnecessary. Like, people can make changes, you don't need to buy all this crazy crap. And if you want to have these things, there's companies already make all this stuff. You go to Whole Foods or Trader Joe's or Wild Oats, there's definitely alternatives to these mass-produced, like, chemically overloaded products that, that were probably tested on an animal. I try to talk about things that, maybe people wouldn't really think about every day, like maybe things that people might take for granted, like, their comfort levels, their sense of luxury, and how there's people and other things on, even around the block, or, or the other side of the world, who are, are suffering, and, there are things that people can do, and in a sense that there's, if people kind of like live the same lives that they do for so long, and they don't question what their parents have done, and what their generations have done before them, that they might end up going down the same path. So I definitely encourage people to like keep an open mind about, things they're doing in this life. And what's up? This is Carl from First Blood. Thanks for checking out PETA2.com.